So I started in dentistry back in 1997 with Patterson Dental. I was hired to replace a shipper receiver in the branch office in Salt Lake City. And it was a job while I was going to school. I went to school in the mornings and worked afternoons doing shipping and receiving. And because shipping and receiving wasn't a full-time job, I did customer service. And that's really where I kind of fell in love with dentistry. I saw the possibility of being in the dental profession for a long time. And my goal after that was to be a Patterson territory rep. I wanted to be in the industry. So a couple of years later in '99, I became a Patterson territory rep. Covered an area with 120 dental offices and did that for 15 years. Loved the connection and friendship and relationship that I had with my clients. Enjoyed going to clinical education with them, to practice management education, really learning what are the ins and outs and function of a dental practice. One of the great compliments that I feel like I got as a territory rep was that I was the most knowledgeable non-dentist that one of my clients had ever met. And I thought that was a big deal. That meant a lot to me, and that was like maybe a goal of mine as a territory rep. And then I had, my kids had some kids, they were growing up. I'd coached them a little bit in youth sports and liked coaching. I liked helping people learn and perform better. And the management role at Patterson opened up. And so I decided to take on the role as general manager in Salt Lake City. And at one time, Salt Lake City was responsible for the Boise location as well as the Las Vegas location. And so that expanded the area that I was becoming familiar with at Patterson Dental. General management, managing salespeople is an interesting thing. It's a little different than coaching youth sports, but it was being responsible for P&Ls, motivating people, leadership, hiring people and figuring out what you're looking for, and sometimes having to let people go, which is a tough thing. All of that experience, I really appreciated. Did that for 7 years. And then I was introduced to DDSmatch. Had a friend, I'd seen DDSmatch grow across the country and other people join. Had a friend reach out and tell me I should take a look at them. And so I had a few conversations with Thad. And I thought it was something I'd have a brief conversation and then say thanks and keep doing what I was doing. And found something that I really liked. I was drawn to it. I appreciated the idea of helping dentists do something that they couldn't do for themselves, bringing knowledge to something that was what I thought was pretty critical and important to their career path, and having, getting back to that genuine impact that changed someone's life for the better, and bringing something to their life that they might be able to do for themselves, but maybe not do at as high a level as they could with my help. And so I decided to make the change to DDSmatch and get involved with all the things that we do here. I think it's a hard thing to relay in an initial conversation. I think that's one of the hardest things for them to figure out without giving us a chance and talking to us. But from the very beginning, I try to really get to know who they are as a dentist and who they are as a person and what's important to them as a person and what they're hoping to accomplish through this transition, regardless of what it is. What are their real goals? Where do they want to be in a year or 2 or 5 years, depending on what they're trying to accomplish? And if I understand really what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish and what drives them and what's important to them, I hope in understanding and uncovering that they'll recognize that to me this isn't just a transaction, it's not just about selling a dental practice, that it's really about connecting them. We talk about it, connecting them with their future. They've got a dream and a vision and a hope, and in many cases that can become a reality if they get the right help and somebody understands what their goal is or what their help is. So, I think that's one of the most challenging things to relay, is to help them understand, I'm in it to help you. I'm in it because to serve your best interest. This isn't about me or what I'm trying to accomplish. This is about what you're trying to accomplish and what's important to you. Yeah, the trusted transition process, I think any business, even dental practices, have processes that they follow when they want to be really good or disciplined about something. And I've always been drawn to the trusted transition process because it adds discipline and a process to something that's critically important. And part of the process at the very beginning is understanding a true value for the practice, the substantiated that lenders will agree with, that buyers will agree with, that everybody is comfortable with. So from the very beginning, everybody knows what the value of the practice is and what they should expect to pay for the practice, so we can focus on the other aspects of the practice. I think the trusted transition process is meant to be thorough and comprehensive. It doesn't leave anything up to chance. It doesn't let something be forgotten or left out. At every step of the way, it's making sure that the client's best interests are covered, that someone is advocating for them, that when it comes time to make a decision, they're fully informed, they understand what's important and what the give and take of any decision they make is. And it takes them from conceptual, what am I trying to accomplish with this practice transition, all the way to, okay, I've completed this transition, and with transparency, they know what to expect when it's all done. It was great, because I felt like through the process, I mean, here I had someone who was referred to me and recommended to me, and so I was relying a lot on their confidence and the person who referred them to me. And I never took that for granted. Wanted to show up for them like they wanted me to show up. And so I was very thorough, I communicated a lot through it, and I felt like I built this relationship with the person through the process. And when it was finally done and it had gone the way they had wanted, right? At the very beginning, we'd had a conversation. What does this look like if everything goes the way that it's supposed to? And when we had gone through the transition and everything had gone the way we had talked and the way they had planned, and they came to that realization, it was awesome to be there for them and to see their excitement about that process, that they felt like someone advocated for them and had their back through the process. The testimonial from them meant a lot to me. And the elements that were important to them and the things that I had done well for them were really important to them. And it really came down to feeling like they had someone who was watching out for them, who guided them through the process, who ensured that all of the things they had thought of were covered, but then all of the things they didn't think of, the stuff they didn't know. I mean, I think one of the most intelligent things we can all say is we don't know what we don't know. And my job is to know those things for these scenarios, for these transitions. So it was really exciting to know that the first one, like, hey, I did everything that I had promised to do and completed this in a really good way where the owner was happy and excited that I had been there for him.